Hello and welcome to Political Paradigm. I'm Terry Ikumi. Governance at the subnational level is very important, and that's why we're in Akwa Ibom State today to speak with the Executive Governor of the state on his Arise agenda 2 years after. I'm joined by the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Governor Pastor Umoeno. Welcome to Political Paradigm.
Thank you so much, Terry. Welcome to Akwa Ibom.
Thank you so much. A lot of people forget that you're a pastor. Are you still able to combine both?
Well, by the grace of God, we can do all things through Christ that strengthens us.
That sounds like what a pastor would say. Welcome, Your Excellency. It's nice to be here with you. The last conversation we had was your first 100 days in office. But before we go into some of the details of that, I haven't seen you since you lost your wife, so let me start off by commiserating with you. Accept my condolences. It's almost a year now.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
It's good to see you strong and in active governance. Well done.
Thank you. It's all due the grace of God, the support of the people, support of my family, my children, my grandchildren, and we take it as part of life, and we can't query God. So we thank Him for all that He's doing and the enablement He's giving to us.
Right. That's good. So when we first had our conversation about your first 100 days in office, it was fresh, but you had started some work, and you talked to me about the plans you had for the people of Akwa Ibom State, hinged on the Arise agenda. It's 2 years now. So let's talk about the Arise agenda. How's it been for you, governing Akwa Ibom State?
Thank you so much, Terry, for the privilege of talking with you and sharing our thoughts on your program. In the last 2 years, I believe we have come almost full circle in the implementation of our Arise agenda. We have laid the foundation in all the areas of the Arise agenda, whether it's agriculture, rural development, infrastructure, security, or education. That's the 5 pillars upon which the Arise agenda stands. And then there are 17 thematic groups that all this come under. I believe we have laid the foundation. I believe that we are running the course. And we did a review, 2-year midterm review, and we showcased all the things we've done, tied it up with data to support the arguments we've always had, the impact it has made on the people. I particularly believe that we need to do a lot more work in our rural communities, and I came prepared for that because our rural communities see government only every 4 years, and so we had lived in Akwa Ibom for over 25 years to understand how this has been working. So I was determined that we need to touch the rural communities.
So the details of the extent to which you have reached the rural communities would be very important. And the reason I say that is that you made a promise to those people when you were sworn in. You said that you were part of them, you understood their problems, and you promised to change their lives. And the way governance works is, good governance, to the best of my knowledge, is that you have to leave the people better than you met them. So in what specific areas? I know that you had talked about the farming, the agriculture aspect of things, because the people in the rural areas are mostly farmers.
Yeah, on agriculture, what we've done is to engage with the rural communities. We provide them with seedlings, we provide them with fertilizers, we provide them with funding where they need support. We have support for our farmers all across the state. We have a database for these farmers, whether they're small scale or large scale farmers. We have their database, and we reach out to them to see what they're doing. Where we work with extension workers to ensure that we visit, we give them improved seedlings, and the yield and outputs are improving. And we also ensure that we provide rural roads. Because one of the things could be that you could have these items, and then even to take them to the market becomes a problem. We've had to provide rural roads, feeder roads that will help farm to market and make it very easy for the people. So that's part of the things we have done in the area of farming. But beyond that, you also have to make their condition of living comfortable. So what have we been doing? We're looking at their standards of living. How do we improve that? We've built markets. We have also provided water. In some communities, we've partnered with the federal government to provide solar system that so communities that are not tied up to the power grid can have power. We have, we're building schools. We're building schools, we're building primary health.
Where schools are fresh or you are renovating the ones
fresh.
that...
We're building fresh. And
across all the local government
across all
areas.
the local government, 31 local government areas. When we came, we knew that we needed to put a standard of what our schools should look like, even though primary schools are under local governments. But again, this is our state. We needed to create model schools that will serve as a standard where the local government chairmen that are now autonomous can copy from. And we provide that we're doing across the 31 local governments. And then we not just provide, not just the model primary schools, we give them uniforms, we give them shoes, give them bags and books. Because when you're looking at out-of-school children, you can provide free education, but you see, you have not created an atmosphere of equality. And I could want to go to school, but I don't have shoes, I don't have uniforms. My colleagues have. And that they have doesn't mean that they are better than me, but you see, there's a complex. So that makes me stay back. So out of all of the work that we did, we now had to provide all of those to give them that confidence. And then moving from schools, we've done primary health centers to make the condition of living, again, in the rural area comfortable. We have put that in place. Primary health centers across the 31 local governments. In some local governments, we've done 2 or 3, depends on the size. And we added insurance because, again, people back in the rural communities may not even be able to afford medicine. So we came up with insurance, health insurance, and then, so dates, the review we just had, about 122,000 have been registered under 1 year. We have ambulance services, again, across the state, so that we can help these people have access where we have an emergency in any primary health center. They could call for an ambulance, and then we could move the patient to the next level of care. Yeah. So these are all things geared towards helping the rural communities to have the impact of governance in the state.
Well, Your Excellency, let me just take you up on the issue of the local governments, which you talk about. They're now on their own, and the expectation is that they would have an impact on the people more. But from your assessment, how impactful have local governments been since being taken off your shoulder, since their responsibilities have been taken off your shoulder? Maybe not entirely, but partially.
Yeah, when you say taking off your shoulder, we can look at it in proper context. What has happened is that, you see, with Akwa Ibom, and let me say this, and government has never tampered with local government funds, not in this state. What I met on the ground is that they have a joint account, and then what the government did was to work with the chairman to say, look, you guys have a common accounting system, something that you have to take care of, like staff salaries, like staff pension, like the primary school teachers in the state. You have them more in Uyo than you have in maybe my local government. So why don't we, at our joint accounts committee, deduct the payments, if you like, that are common to us. And we take that out and then go ahead and share your funding. And that has been what has been happening. So there was no time in the state that the local government chairman would say they were not autonomous. Government had never, and I can say this very boldly, I stand to be corrected or to be challenged by any local government chairman, even in the last administration, because I was also part of that administration. And now, they get their money. All we are saying is that, okay, if you have a joint bill, salaries, deal with this first. And then, so we even see, the state government gives money to the local government because we have to share internally generated revenue. So we still give them the money into their joint accounts for them to share. So I needed to clear that because, so the issue of local government being autonomous, they had always been autonomous in Akwa Ibom. No governor, I don't even know when they hold their meetings, you know. But we make sure that even at that, it is still the responsibility of the government of the state to ensure that you work with the chairman to provide basic services to the people. And I must say, under administration, the chairman we have are very cooperative. They compete for projects. And I see this healthy competition. Today, a local government chairman has commissioned a police station, water supply, reticulation system, and then that happened today. Tomorrow, you can find, so they all watch each other, and because the people will ask, one local government cannot be doing something and you are not doing something. So I love the healthy competition I see. As a matter of fact, I don't think there's any local government in this state that the chairman don't have things to show.
All right.
From time to time, we go around, we do our independent assessment, and we meet with them, we share our thoughts with them, and they're doing well.
Clearly shows that the people of Akwa Ibom State know who to hold accountable, unlike what we see in some other states where perhaps the local governments are not doing well, and they even want to hold the president responsible for it. Well, anyway, let me take you up on the aspect of agriculture, which is part of ARI's agenda before we leave, because I know that with the level of interest you've shown in agriculture and the support you're giving the farmers, there's supposed to be a resultant effect on pricing in your state specifically. I don't know how effective that is, especially considering the bulk purchase agency which you set up, which is supposed to purchase from them and subsidize the payments, the cost to the people. How has that affected food prices in your state?
Today, again, we did that review. Food prices have come down. I may not be able to give you the data offhand, but you can have the document before you leave. Food prices have reduced because generally as a people, we have encouraged the people to go back to farm. When we started, we gave 2 days every month for civil servants to go to the farm because I encourage everyone to own a farm. You should own a farm to bring down food prices. The only way we can, on a sustainable basis, deal with food security issues is to go to the farm. We can't keep importing food, you know. We have arable land all year round. You've been into Akwa Ibom, you've seen green areas everywhere. And so, why can't we go to the farm? So we encourage our people to go to the farm. We give them seedlings. We encourage civil servants to own at least home gardens, you know, where you can get basic vegetables. Here in Akwa Ibom, we eat lots of vegetables. Okay. You can plant them. I have a vegetable farm. And, you know, you could go see that all of the vegetables we consume here in Government House is produced from my farm. And I don't even eat vegetable that is not, I see I thought, where is this from? They know we have people working, so everybody goes back. You cannot be telling me that pepper is expensive, okra is expensive, You cannot be telling me that pumpkin leaf is expensive. We need to go back to the old method. So it helps. Food prices are coming down, and what we are creating now in the States is to now create farm farm centers. In each local government, about 100 hectares we plant. We just take it and we create farms there. People live there, and then they can help, and we can have a full value chain. If it's cassava, we can put in a machine there that we can now help with the people around the community can all grow cassava, and we can encourage them and offtake to the meal. And that's what we're doing. We're creating, we have a model farm that we're modeling after the Songhai farm, and we've developed the farm now. We're creating farm assets.
Okay.
And so we take agriculture seriously. And again, we have procured tractors where we want to also encourage the commercial farmers, because one of the aspects that they find difficult is to get tractors. It's expensive. So what government have done is to procure these tractors, and we let them have it, and at very subsidized rates, so that it can help them with clearing of their farms, planting, harvesting. We have all of that. Okay. And so it's to keep putting...
Is this a projected source of revenue for you?
Not a projected source of revenue, but if you don't put a little price tag on it, then they're subject to abuse.
You know why I ask this is because I know that you have a projection to shift from an oil economy.
No, with the farm, with
yes.
the tractors, no. Tractors is to support the services of the farmers to increase their output. And that's where we believe that that will help. But you can't make tractors commercially viable business. It's part of deliberate government support to help the farmers as input to help them have a better output.
You know, I'm curious, before we go into some other aspects of your agenda, revenue generation for Akwa Ibom State is something that is not understandable by a lot of people. And the reason is you're not taking loans. So where are you getting the money from? Because you seem to be doing so much. I was privileged when I got into this state to go to some of the projects you're executing. And interestingly, they have end dates. They're expected to be commissioned in a couple of months or two, and some of them less than a year you started them. And all fully funded, because I spoke with the contractors. How are you generating revenue for your state?
That's an important question. Let me start by saying that this is where we give credit. I personally and our state give credit to the President's Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. Since he came into office, he has unlocked funding to states. And we have funding that is available to states. Every project you see us do, I'm not thinking of how do I pay. We have already earmarked funds to pay. And my work now is to ensure that we deliver on the projects and prepare our state for a time where we may not have oil. These are the days of plenty. If you ask me, to the states, even in... So what should we do? I simply apply what the Bible calls Joseph's principle. In the days of plenty, save up, build up, think of what to do. Every project we have embarked on are going to be self-sustaining on its own when it starts, and that will drive up our own internally generated revenue, and we will be able to cushion any effects if tomorrow this fund stops.
Some would say that some of these things could be public-private partnerships and could come in handy for you.
We're open to public-private partnership, but the fact is, how many public-private partnerships are you going to have? What I don't like to see is someone coming to say to us, take up shares in my company, I'm going to do this. And I'm not into that kind of arrangement, because if you float a company and say to me, let the state government take 10%, 20% and give me land, and then, yes, I could give you land. You could give me shares. But that does not translate to profit. That does not translate to profit. That company could run a loss for as much as the management of the company wants to run that loss. They could take out all their profit from their operations, because you are not you are not a party to that operations. And my question is, if you have to do that, take for example Lagos State, then every company will be asking Lagos State to take shares. So what we do, if we find genuine people who says, look, we want to be partners with you, don't forget that how many people really, to be honest, have the funding to start the level of business you want to start for your people? How many people around Akwa Ibom? How many people want to come with that amount of funding? So our approach is, government can kickstart it and then divest, so the people can now continue the management. Okay. Government must know when to take the back seat and then let it run. And we have some example of some of the things. We have Ibom Air, we have other investment company, we have our Akwa Ibom State Investment Company, a corporation that manages all government investment. Their job is to know when government goes in and when government comes out, because we want to encourage Akwa Ibomites themselves who have the capacity to run the businesses, to run the investments, but don't have startup capacity. So government comes in to help with the startup.
I don't know if you're planning to do that with the Arise Resort. I was there, and that's a massive project. That's a massive investment you're making there. One, I'm also still particular about how you're able to fund such a thing and what you intend to do with the Arise Resorts. But then, speak to concerns that could have arisen from your people with regard to how beneficial that result would be to them.
The resort itself is, one, whether we had to put a resort there or not, we would have done reclamation. So, it's just about being creative. The gully erosion that have ravaged that whole place, this government house is sitting on that gully erosion site. I can tell you, if you go around, you can stay in this government, you can go around and you see that. And it was moving at an alarming rate. Houses were collapsing and people were dying. So when I came in, you had to save that by doing a reclamation. Now, why would I invest so much to claim 70 hectares of a gully erosion site and leave it for hoodlums and leave it for all manner of things? So we don't have a recreation park in the state. And this provided that opportunity. Look, you can reclaim this and put a wonderful park there, 9-hole golf course in the heart of town. Yes, we have 18-hole golf course far away in Ibom hotels, but this is within town and so on. What we've done, part of the strategy I've tried to explain to you is who would have had the funding to do that. Government has now put the funding in place, we've built it, and then we can now seed the management. And we're already having proposals from multinational companies, from hospitality management agencies that says, look, we'll help you manage. And at that point, we can sit with them and say, this is what we expect. Show us your model. How do you want to manage it? And so that we still have to secure our assets.
How much money? How much money have you is that gulping?
No, so far we've gone over 40 billion.
Over 40 billion?
Yes, in reclaiming and building what we have on site. The erosion was deep. You need to see what it used to be. You need to see what it used to be. It takes almost 5 or 6 streets, and it was moving So we had to take all of that so that the people can have some rest of mind. We've had people that have died of heart attack with the erosion there because it was consuming buildings. Evidences are there, they will tell you. And so reclamation alone, with building the embankments you see all around to be able to, that's huge, 70 hectares.
Your Excellency, one of the things I know you're particular about is challenging statistics. So when the unemployment numbers come up from the NBS, you want to prove that it is not. I know that you have quite a number of projects. I'm told by your Commissioner for Information that this Ibom Resort, the convention, the hotel, all those will aid or improve the unemployment numbers. So perhaps you could speak to what your projection is to address the unemployment situation in your state, and also speak to concerns around the need. Yes, you're providing employment for people at a certain level, but some say it is very important to have the enabling environment that supports small and micro, small, medium enterprises, such that that is more sustainable employment opportunities you are providing.
I am big on SMEs, extremely very big. I am of that background. You know, I grew as a small, medium enterprise before joining government, and God helped us. So I'm big. When we came into office, we started Ibom Leadership Academy, Leadership and Entrepreneurial Training Academy. It's still there, and we're training our entrepreneurs. We train them, we bring them in. I think the next batch will be going in September. We bring them in, we go to our business people, we open them up. Because sometimes, it's not about putting money in their hands, it's about knowing the rudiments of business. So we teach them entrepreneurship, we teach them basic bookkeeping, we teach them cash flow management. And so we bring them together. I think so far we've trained over close to 2,000, you know, since in the last 2 years. We train them and then we empower them to continue their businesses. And we've even gone to local governments. As I go around the federal constituencies in what we call town square meetings, we can show you the number of people we have empowered in those communities, in those federal constituencies. We publish their names, publish the assistance we've given them. We do, some of them we've done their needs assessments. We know those who need, maybe if you're a caterer or you want a freezer, we give to your specific needs. And so we are creating entrepreneurship in this state more than ever before and supporting them. And we have partnered with the Bank of Industry. The Bank of Industry was not here before I came into government, but we partnered with them, and they are now in Akwa Ibom. We have matched their fund, and so that we can also support our entrepreneurs and these SMEs. So we're very, very, very big on SMEs in the state. So we don't just throw money. I don't even believe, part of my fundamental principles, and people will tell you, I believe that money should change, it should be in exchange for value. I don't give people money, throw money around people. If you're not, you must do something. And then we've created, the last administration started, built the Dakada Skill Acquisition Center, one of the best in this country, partnering with the University of Lagos. And then that's when I came in, we had to kickstart that Skill Acquisition Center. We have turned out the first set of 250. There's a new intake now because we need to develop the skills of our people. So it's not just about giving them palliative. It's about building them up to become entrepreneurs by themselves and be able to take on jobs that we do. Over 400 housing units in the state. Are we going to be bringing people, masons, tilers, and plumbers? So we're training them and we're putting them in the market. That's a big training school. You need to visit before you leave, you have time in your hands.
I hope to. If I don't do it now, perhaps next time when I come, I would love to.
The Dakota Skill Acquisition Center is big. It's big.
There's something else, when you talk about spreading development across your state, as commendable as it is, when you had your summits, so impact of your Arise Agenda Socio-Economic Summit, and I was privileged to be there, one of the things I drew your attention to was concerns around the spread of development. There's a group from Esiteket local government area who say that they are not satisfied with the toilet project that you want to bring to their local government, that other local governments are enjoying developmental projects, and you're offering them toilet project. Is this actual toilet project, or are they just downplaying what you're offering them?
Well, don't forget there could be some political undertone to some of these things. There is no local government in this state today that don't have at least minimum 2 projects of either a primary health care center or a model primary school. There's no local government in this state today that we don't have a road project ongoing, minimum of 2. There's no local government in this state today that we are not training and empowering entrepreneurs. I want to be challenged. The figures are all there. What we are talking about is we want to end open defecation, and it's a wash program and we want to key into it. So in Akwa Ibom, only one local government is disaffiliated, and we need to expand this. So when we create all of this in public places to end open defecation, doesn't mean that it's not just in Esreke. We've chosen, we want to do it take maybe 4 or 5 local governments, address it at a time, so that the Federal Ministry of Water and Sanitation and other international agencies can come. We have a template that we must meet to be certified free. And so that's what government is doing. And so in terms of development in this state, nobody, in fact, people from my local government abuse me every day that I've abandoned them, that I'm working in other local governments. I've even taken on projects that were abandoned or were not finished by not just the last administration, even the administration before the last one, because it has value to our people. I'm one person that tried to be very detribalized based on my background where I grew up. So groups, yes, there are pressure groups, and there's no way you will not have pressure groups. They will always want to see. Again, let me say this, Terry. None of these projects happens without the input of the people. All the projects we're doing is from the needs assessment that the people, we are done with the people. So they know what projects we are doing.
How do you gather this input?
No, we have people that go around and speak with the communities. Right now, as we go around the town halls, where we planned it to be a town hall, but when we arrived at back, the very first local government, we had more people than we expected. So we said, turn this to a town square, allow everyone to come. They meet at the their federal constituency and decide on the projects they want. And they give you a needs document. They submit it to you, and we take it back. Next year, 2026, I'm running what I call the people's budget. It is from the needs document that they've given to us that we are bringing projects for each local government. So how would you now turn around to say that, we're giving you this when you ask for this? No, it's from the people. And I believe that's how governance should be. The people should have a say. They should be part of it. So when we do those projects, they can protect the project because it is theirs.
Your Excellency, some persons have called you a prudent man. Others say you're trying to cut West Stage. Well, some question what sort of wastage you're trying to cut by giving vehicles to government officials, lawmakers, your party chairman, and having over 300 aides. How do you explain that?
Vehicles are work vehicles. You don't expect people who work for government to jump Okada and come to work. In the first 1 year, 6 months I was in office, we didn't have vehicles. The same people said he's not giving vehicles. Now we have identified the people that need vehicles and we have given them vehicles. I don't see anything wrong if you don't empower people to work. Vehicle is a work tool. It's a work tool. I can't put my delivery advisors, I can't put my commissioners to go to work. I expect them to be at government events. I expect them to go and inspect projects. How do they go there? How do they go there? So vehicles are budgeted for. And once we know that you need the vehicles and we have done all of our checks and these people need vehicles, we give them vehicles. We do that and it's a necessity, Terry. It's a necessity. How do they have to trek to work?
Well, you know the thing is, when you have people who are hungry, it's difficult for them to understand that.
You see, let me say this, please. I'll let you land. We must put this hunger in proper context. Because when we keep saying hunger, 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 you give a man an assignment. I have ward PAs. There are 369 wards. I appointed ward PAs. They help us coordinate our food distribution programs. They help us disseminate information to the local communities. If you get to know me well, you know that I'm one person that don't just wake up and give. Every appointment we give has a job description and we monitor. So if you're talking about hunger, we're providing opportunities for people to get trained. We are providing money for people to get to do their businesses. We are providing employment for our people, all of this. Akwa Ibom is like a construction site all around the state. You can check. And this brings jobs, skilled and unskilled. And now, in this state, in Uyo, for example, I'll tell you, we used to have a place where in the morning, unskilled workers or skilled workers, whatever, would go there. A mason and all of that would gather, so you just drive by.
And pick up who you need.
Now, if you go to that place tomorrow, you don't find anybody. Even contractors now bring people from outside the state to work for them. So I've told our young people, the job is there. We have opened up, we have a Ministry of Digital Economy, we're opening up digital hubs everywhere. We're about building youth-friendly centers to help our young people, to go there, and innovation centers and innovation hubs. Today, Professor Kpanikpo talked about the Science Park. No, the Science Park is not the way it used to be, where you designate one place and say, no, you take this thing to the people. With our youth-friendly centers, you have incubation and innovation centers. They are going there and they are doing a lot of things. We had the Youth Skill Week, I think last month, and we had our youths that have come up with some amazing inventions and innovations. So we believe that around the state, hunger is relative. And I tell you, you're still a young man, with respect, but I'm sure when you were much younger, we're still talking about hunger. Hunger will never cease. But let people not use this hunger thing and expect that we are not a communist society. We're not. We're a democracy. And so if what people want is government to do everything, government creates an enabling environment. And I think that's so that people can thrive, people can work. Government creates support for the people. We are doing that. We've not done enough. Like I said today, I'm not saying we've done enough. I'm saying that we can always keep engaging and keep expanding.
Absolutely. Well, what is government support in the area of transportation?
With transportation, what we've done is in the next 2-3 months, we'll be launching the city transport system. And we're ordering about 20 CNG buses. We've given contracts right now. They're building the terminal and the CNG station. And we have created bus stations, mapped out the state with bus stations. Those buses come in, and then we'll begin to run the city transportation, because it's part of what you do in turning a town to a city. And it's one of the projects that we have on the pipeline, and we will in the next 2-3 months probably invite you as we launch that.
I'll be honored, but is this across all the local government areas?
It will go across all the local government areas. It will run from Uyo to each local government and back. We're going to increase the fleet, but we're starting with 20.
Very well then. Yes, and just before we finish this aspect of governance, because we're almost out of time. It's funny how time flies when you're having a good conversation. But you have less than 2 years now to the end of your tenure. And as I've always said, you only have 4 for starters, and then whatever evidence you have will decide whether or not you will return for a second term. 2 things. One, the need to leave your people better than you met them was your initial plan when we first had our conversation. And also you wanted to transform the state from a civil service state. To what extent have you been able to do this, and what are your plans going forward?
Terry, like I said, I'm not going to be the best person to assess myself. We had our impact analysis assessment, and you saw the figures yourself. You saw what we've been able to do. I believe that, in all humility, modesty will forgive me, we have made our humble contributions in the areas we said we were going to help our people, and we are doing that. We have about 18 months or so left, or there about 20 months. But most of the projects next step we're doing now will be finishing about the time, and we also expect that it will continue to contribute to the overall development of the state. There's no one person that will say you can solve all of the problems, but within the context of what we set out to do on a daily basis, I can tell you we are on top of the situation. We are developing our people. We are not just creating infrastructure, we are creating the skills to manage the infrastructure. And we'll continue to do that. Whether it's the general thing I want to say here is we want to create an economy that can thrive on tourism for Akwa Ibom. We believe we have the right environment. We believe that nature has made it so. We believe we have the infrastructure to do that. So we are prepared in all of the things we're doing. It's about tourism, whether it's medical tourism, agricultural tourism, infrastructural tourism. We're doing all of that, recreational tourism. And we believe that when we tie all that together, we will be able to provide that people will see Akwa Ibom as a tourism destination for this country. And we can provide jobs. Of course, you know, tourism is one of the largest employer of jobs. We can provide jobs for our people, whether skilled or unskilled, and we can also put money in the pockets of our people.
Very well then. Let's do some politics now. I mean, we're almost out of time. This is your first interview since you joined the All Progressives Congress. And while we had some speculations there, it turned out to be right. And it was shocking, I dare say, to a lot of people, because Akwa Ibom has always been a PDP state. And even when the current Senate president tried to turn it into an APC state at the time with former governor, it didn't work. But now you've moved. You say you are aligning with the Center for the Good of Akwa Ibom people. Could you explain that?
Well, I like to, I don't know when you say people were shocked, because I spent close to 6 months consulting with the people. I didn't just wake up. There's something you do and you're very intentional about it. It was time. We have stayed in the opposition for how many years? And there are enormous benefits to align with the center. First of all, we have a Senate president in this country today who is from here. And we need to give him the support to be able to help. We come together, we discuss. We can't be in, he's the Senate president with another party. We're here as an opposition party, and you know how politics plays out here. It will keep whipping up unnecessary sentiments. States will be ungovernable. So, number one, we needed to give him that support. Number two, I believe in the program of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And today, as we made that presentation, you saw that we tried to align our program and show you how our program aligns with the federal government's program. And if all of those alignment works, and it comes up, picks the economy, this economy was battered. We were really, really low by the time he took over power. And we see the efforts he's making, the reforms he's making. And I believe that he should have our support. We have government, like I've said, state government, our state government, and I speak for Akwa Ibom, we've benefited from those reforms. That's where we have the funds to be able to do the things we're doing. So what do? Sit back and say, oh, because you have another party, you are from another party, you are, I'm not from that party, but I wasn't trained like that. If someone is doing well, you say he's doing well, he needs your support, and you give him that support. If he's not doing well, you say he's not doing well. If we have come into the state and we have funding to run our projects, and I am accessible to the president, I can see him when I need to see him, and we sit down, we discuss, he listens to our issues and is helping us where he can, and then why must I work against the president? So I believe that the state's interest is better protected. There are things we want the federal government to assist us in doing. And of course, being on the same platform will help provide access and support. So I just needed to take that decision in the overall interest of our state.
So it wasn't because of the crisis within the PDP that you left the party?
I don't always want to discuss. You see, my approach, if you watch in all my speeches, I have tried not to verify a party that provided a platform for me to become governor. I will never do it. Yes, with PDP had their problems, but I will never come on national TV because there are channels you could use to discuss that. I won't, if a party has provided, it's like coming back to say the mother that gave birth to you is not worthy.
Yeah.
So principles, I don't discuss that.
Well, but some say that leaders like yourself, governors are mostly leaders of the party, would have stayed to help the party do better.
I still wouldn't want to discuss the internal issues of our party. Or the
No, I'm not
party
saying
that
internal
was,
issues, Your Excellency. I'm just saying that those who would say that you have failed to act as a leader for the PDP.
I will say they need to understand that it's just beyond that. You see, governance really and parties, and it's not a one-size-fits-all. It's not a one-size-fits-all. People can stay back and say all the blame and all of that, but when you sit on that seat and you have the confidence of the people of your state that have given you, you take decisions you believe is in the best interest of the people and leave the rest to history.
Very well then. But I know on several occasions you have tried to hammer on the fact that there's no rift between you and your political godfather, former Governor Udom Emmanuel. But some would point to some resignations within your cabinet, and the two members of the House who have refused to leave, who we know are loyal to him. Does this raise concerns for you, or are you still holding on to your earlier position that there is no issue? Because I would clearly ask you if he was part of those you consulted before you left the party.
Yes, he was. I consulted with him and told him why I was going to leave. And Governor Dom Emmanuel is a man I truly, truly respect and will always respect. Without God using him, I won't sit here. And again, I will never be where Governor Dom Emmanuel is being talked down on, because he has served the state creditably, meritoriously, and I am his product. He has mentored me. I worked for him as his executive director at Greek Investment. I served under him as the commissioner for lands, and I'm here. But again, you see, what leadership throws on you, even when our kids today, Terry, there are things you want your kids to do, and they'll tell you, no, Dad, this is the way I think we should do it. You understand? Because you've exposed them, and they can now tell you. One of the things I think we need to understand is where you have some discussion around your belief and your principle, or when you deliberately insult or throw your mentor under the bus. In my conscience, truly, and God is my witness, I have not done any of those. I still enjoy a robust relationship with my political father, and I will always strive to do that. And we talk, we still relate. Yes, part of mentoring was not that I'm going to be in one party. What we said was you were going to govern the state and provide services to the people. We didn't have talk about you stay in this party forever, you stay. I mean, if you hand over a driver's seat to me, and in the course of driving, I'm moving on and I see a ditch. Do I drive the bus into the ditch because, this was the road we were supposed to take? Why don't I do a detour? So long as the people in the bus are safe and we arrive safely. So we must differentiate the issues about taking political decisions, which is a dynamic thing to do. As a leader, you've got to be sensitive to your timing. You've got to be dynamic in your decision, and that's it. I believe that I have not contravened or have not disrespected my political father. I'm not even given to disrespecting any leader. I wasn't raised that way. And we continue to give credits to past leaders in our state. When I go to commission projects that were started by them, if you see on the plaque, we say, this project was started by this administration, it's now completed by this administration. That shows respect. Some people will just not care. Some people will outrightly not even touch what they did. We've named projects after them. We're in good. You see, I think it's just in the mind of people that you don't find people sit down together and they're frank with each other. Before I moved, I consulted with him, and he said to me, if God has told you to move, just consult with God. If that's what he has told you to do, I won't stop you.
Very well done, Your Excellency. I'd like to thank you very much for your time. It's always a pleasure speaking with you. But I want to find out curiously for you, because you're a governor, and you're now a leader in the APC. I see what you're doing with the revalidation at every level. And get your concerns around the national concerns around how the president is steering the ship. Yes, you do believe in the president, but there are those who now fear that the president, with the way he's steering the ship, and you say hunger is relative, but some say they are still hungry, and that his policies have further impoverished the people, even though he says it's for the now. What are your concerns as we head towards the election year with regard to how the public perceives the president?
For me, even sitting here, there are people, you've just quoted some group that said, I'm building toilets for them instead of projects. And I've just told you, you can, tomorrow morning, I can ask my chief delivery advisor to give you the projects we've done across. By the way, we have, you had the book today, The Golden Footprint, in 2 years. You see in that book, everything we've done in each local government is stated there, and its record is there. So what am I trying to say? Even if you bring an angel to superintend over Nigeria or Akwa Ibom, there are people who will say, this angel is not, is a devil, is maybe one Lucifer angel, you know. So there will always be people who don't believe in the things you are doing, and it's all political. Put them there. Most of the people making these comments have been in government before. My question is, what impact did they make? What impact did they make? If people are to condemn the president, honestly, it should be brand new people. Anybody who has had a stint in the governance of this country should first of all show us his report card while he was in government to contradict what is happening now. If you've been in government and you didn't do anything, we're all part of the people that contributed to bringing this country to where we are today. And a man comes and we talk about subsidy. Who were the people benefiting from this subsidy, as a matter of fact? You know, the immediate past chairman of the EFCC published a book on the subsidy scam the other day. Read the book, and you will understand that. A man comes from day one and says, this is removed, let's put the money back to the people. There is hunger, there's no doubt about it. I'm not pretending, I've seen it firsthand. I go around. If you see, I go into the market, I touch people, I carry people, I understand this. I live among these people. So that's why whatever program we do is born out of conviction that we must touch these people, you know. But at the same time, if this funding were not made available to state government, we'll still be borrowing. And we'll still be endangering the same people. So every time people talk about people, and there are leaders that have been had the privilege to serve this country, I just smile and laugh. Politics will never stop.
Your Excellency, Governor Eno, thank you so much for your time on Political Paradigm, and I wish you well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting and coming to talk with us. And thank you for always doing a good job. I like your command. I like your presence in your program. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, that's all the time we have on Political Paradigm. If you'd like to catch this episode and more, please go to YouTube and search Political Paradigm, or simply go to channelstv.com. I'm Terry Kumi, and I've been speaking with the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, His Excellency Pastor Governor Eno.